Hey, how about it? Another live stream. I hope you can hear me on audio. Almost didn't get this working. I apologize for the be right back screen. I accidentally deleted the other screens. And I'm trying to figure out Windows because I've been a Mac user for so long. It's not been going well. So anyway, welcome. This is gonna be a quick live stream, not a long one.
Hey, how about
Oops.
it? Another live
Let me
stream.
mute that. Apologize. I'm going to make this quick. It's not going to be a long live stream. I just have a couple of things that I unfortunately wrote over about 8 pages that I want to cover. But I'm not going to do this. I'll say hey real quick to everyone. Oh, Sydney. Wow, how about that? Sydney, Australia. Nice. I see everyone. I see a couple of names that I know from my old live streams, which were like a year ago. Can you believe that? It's been a year. But what I want to talk about is the title of this because people are asking me what bikes are we going to have in 2023. And I can see myself on the corner of my eye on another screen. It's annoying. 2023, what bikes are coming out? Because as we know, things went crazy in 2020. I don't have to explain all of that. But then we had 2021 and all the shortages that kind of bled into 2022. And we got that batch of bikes in 2020, which were really awesome. All the Schwinn's and, well, everything. They came out in 2020, in the early part of 2020. It got into 2021, we had all the shortages, and that bled into 2022. And I noticed one thing that happened in 2020. Well, you noticed it too. In 2022, how many times can I say that? There weren't any new bikes really. Well, there were a few. We got the Giordanos and a trickle of other bikes, but there wasn't that influx of bikes that we always get in the spring, and then we get another influx usually in the fall, except for e-bikes. I have no idea why e-bikes, there was never a shortage of supply. There have always been floods of new e-bikes coming out, so I haven't yet figured out why they can make new e-bikes and get all those imported, but we couldn't make regular bikes and get that imported. So I don't understand some of it because I'm still an outsider. I have contacts, but I'm still an outsider as far as, I don't sit in on meetings. So I don't know everything, but I do know that they pushed in 2022, using that again, they pushed a lot of bikes to 2023. And from the conversations that I have had, and from just hunches based on the way things are said, I'm getting the vibe that 2023, a lot of it's going to get pushed to 2024. Now, that's not to say we're not going to get some new mountain bikes, some analog mountain bikes. Clearly, we'll get plenty of e bikes, I guess, because that's what's coming out. But there are, or should be, a trickle of a few mountain bikes just based on, and I'm not naming any manufacturers or any brands or anything like that, just some that I've talked to, but I have also been told that, well, we were working on this, but that's been pushed to 2024. And also one of the bikes that I know that was supposed to come out in 2022 did not. That was supposed to now be pushed to 2023. That's now 2024 as well. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. And also, I think the reason that this happened, and I'm going to glance at chat here because I'm curious. I'd like you to comment. How many of you, or what reason do you think that things are now moving to 2024? I'll give about a minute here and we'll see what a few of you say. Well, actually, I'm not even going to wait because then there'll be that awkward pause where I'm trying to read this stuff. By the way, how you like the whole beard thing going on, right? Yeah, it's the first time I've ever, ever really grown one that filled out enough. And I apologize, my hair is still wet. But it's the first time, but it's not going to last long because this is super, super annoying. But let me tell you some conversations that I had with the local bike shop and a couple of other bike shops that aren't so local, and what happened last year, or actually 2021 and bled into last year. We had bike shops that were placing orders, large orders, orders larger than they normally would have placed. And one shop, I won't say which one, but one shop told me that the reason they were placing these larger orders than normal is because they noticed when they would go into their system that the larger orders, they could see their order, and I'm just making up numbers here, but if there was an order with 80 bikes, and then there was an order with 25 bikes, then another order with 50 bikes, and so on, they would notice that those larger number orders somehow would get shipped. All those would go through the queue and the smaller numbers would not ship. So they started placing larger orders, and I suspect that this happened pretty much wide scale. And I know that some, and I'm hesitant to say manufacturers, but I know some brands were just trying to get anything. You know, not only were they putting bikes off, but they were bringing back some bikes that really they didn't plan on really getting a whole mass influx of. And what I think has happened, because at one point, and I'll say this was Trek, at one point I was in a local bike shop, which is a Trek dealer, and they told me, I remember standing out, I think it might have been a Marlin 6. It was one of the Marlins. And I remember the manager of the bike shop telling me that, oh, if this is the one that we got in, and this was, of course, at the peak of all the scarcity. And he said that, and I may be off a little bit on the timing, but I think it's pretty close. I remember him saying 6 months, if you place an order today, you might get this bike within 6 months to 12 plus months, and rumors are 18 months type stuff. Now, I don't think any bikes ever actually took that long to get to anyone, but we all know there were mass shortages and mass orders and mass trying to get everything. And now I believe I have something I printed out. You know, we created a bubble, a balloon bubble, and this isn't the Chinese balloon that's kind of fitting that it's red, floating all over. Last they heard it was in St. Louis, so if you're in that area, maybe look up. I don't know. But I think when they started ordering all this stuff, now supply has caught up and all these orders are flooding in. They were trying to get any and everything that they could. This is speculation on my part. Orders are coming in that they had placed that were trying to get any and everything that they could. And we've got the glut. I'm sure there's videos all over the internet about it. And it's not just bikes, it's TVs. You know, the big box stores are selling TVs. And I know this for a reason, because my TV just went out and I bought a brand new, I think it was 50-inch TV for like $119. And it was a fairly nice one. So there is a glut of items, bikes especially, coming onto the market right now. So why would you bring in new stuff when you've got all this other stuff that you're trying to burn through? And this is, you know, I don't know, talk about the balloons and the bubbles. At some point, that's going to pop. And I think it's already popping. I'm really concerned. I guess I'll make this a topic for another video. But I want to, at least my concern, where I think things might be going. But right now, there are, I expect, some new bikes that will be coming in. I'm talking mountain bikes, because obviously they're still e-bikes. Like I said, never any problem with e-bikes. I have no idea why. And some of them are pretty darn fun. Well, you can't see it, but off in that direction, I have partially disassembled that Hyper Mid-Drive Mountain. And oh my gosh, such a great bike. I can't wait. Everyone that has ridden that, even the people that kind of e-bike, they really like that bike. So there's that. Don't give up on e-bikes. Let me just glance at my notes here really quick and make sure that I didn't miss anything. Mention the 6 to 12 months, the balloon popping. I mentioned Giordano, I do believe. Oh, well, look at this. Now questions and answer. That's how I wrote that. And I had it big. I was going to tape this, but I didn't. Oh, and also, do you know what this is? Well, obviously it's an @ symbol, but do you know what this is as far as YouTube goes? Because I have a story. I have a story about how YouTube stole my brand, and they didn't literally steal something, but I have an interesting thing going on with one of my other channels that I could tell you about if we want to waste time on that. But let me get to some chat here and say hi to some people. I hope I covered the 2023 bike situation enough. Let's see, we got Black Wolf 987. Hello. Malcolm, Danny Malcolm, Zebra Fetish. Oh my gosh, so funny. Tom, I know that name. Wormway. Well, hello to you. I don't think, were you in any of my older live streams? And there's Robert Benson from Sydney. And Alexander Overend, hello to you. Down Lake, okay. Now we're getting definitely down lake. Hey, from St. Hey, can you see the balloon? The Chinese, quote, meteorology balloon that's actually, they think, a spy balloon. I'm wondering if you could look up and see that. But hello to you. Nice to see you. And someone, Black Wolf 987, you're in Florida. So that's awesome. We got Brooklyn. Yeah, this is, I think I wore this on another live stream. It's very cold tonight, or at least cold by Alabama standards. So I was grabbing for anything that I had that was warm, and now I'm sweating to death. I had to turn off my heater in here. But yeah, I like my Brooklyn shirt, and I like Brooklyn. So hello to you. And there's Veronica Victor, very cold. Yeah, you're going to laugh. It's, I think, Alexa, what's the temperature outside?
Right now,
muted that.
It's 29 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, it's 29 here, and everybody's acting like it's going to burst pipes any second now. We just don't do that. Your mom and dad, I don't know. Okay, yep, there's the beer. Oh, Sonia. There's Sonia. I appreciate you being here, Sonia. It has been such a long time. I think I'm going to get back into this. I really do, because I enjoy live streams. So I tried to shoot it down. It failed. I had a neighbor that said if that gets close to Alabama, some of the rednecks here are going to shoot that thing down. And I looked it up, and it's at 60,000 feet. So I think it's pretty safe for many Alabamians. That's pretty high up. So let's see, 4 degrees. Okay, lots of weather, 11. All right, is there anything, like I said, I didn't want this to stretch out. I'm just kind of testing, getting back into the groove here of live streams. So is there anything that you would like to ask? You have any questions about Project Eternity here that's taken, you know, that Hypercarbon X with it. So I don't know if you can tell. God, it's so backwards. But I don't know if you can tell that that's so straight. That 71 degree head tube angle, even with the better fork on it, it's still pretty straight. But this thing has been an absolute in my way project bike. I'm trying to do other stuff, so I've been having to move it around. And now I finally got everything together, and I was going to start putting it on. Only I didn't have everything together. The 11-speed cassette that I had laid out somewhere, I thought in here, so that it would be easy to grab and put on. I can't find it. I had to order one. I had to order one. Only you had to order it because the local bike shop wanted $100 for something that should have been about 46. I'm assuming that they thought I meant the 12-speed. That's what I'm guessing. But it's only going to have the 11-speed because I'm not going to be on that long. It's just to say it's done and then move on to that mod. I cannot wait to get to that mod. So let's see what we have here on chat. Okay, I can start at the 11. Mr. Crawlings, hello to you. And anybody that I missed, I apologize. Just trying to scroll through. Hey, Fairy Tale Wizard. Sorry about this scam, mate. Yes, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. I made a video about all those scam comments. That's never went away, and it kind of relates with this in a way. So if you want to hear my stolen brand story, I'll give you the Cliff's Notes of it if you want. But I'm going to make a specific video on the channel that it involves. But yeah, be careful. Just because it looks like a KevCentral logo, that's anybody could do that. Because YouTube, in their wisdom, did you know that there can be multiple channels with the same name? Yeah, just the way that YouTube worked out over the years. And they're trying to fix that now. But the way that they're fixing it, sometimes there are little hiccups. And in the case of one of my channels, they actually gave away my channel name, the new handle thing. So yeah, I'm fighting with that. It's an interesting story actually, but let's see. That won't stop some people. I'm assuming you're talking about the balloon. It wouldn't surprise me. Someone put some, we have NASA, big NASA thing in Huntsville. So it wouldn't surprise me. Somebody gets their ultralight, straps some rockets to it. I can get the balloon. I can get the, well, it's Alabama. So they would say, hey, y'all watch this. And then things would happen. So let's go a little further. Put that mod. Yes. I even thought about doing the mod as a live stream putting together. But a long time ago, I almost did a live stream assembling a bike. And I decided to not do that because you have no idea how many times I drop things when I'm putting a bike together. Tools, you would hear language that I don't like to be part of when it comes to the image here at KevCentral. It's a lot of swearing involved. Do you have the Hypercarbon X 29er? Do you have this version or do you have the new version? And there is a new version, and there was some confusion about that. There actually is a new version. Some people thought that I was saying some things that I didn't. But there is this older version, which is that's the original, which is right here. And then there is the new version, which has a new head tube angle, some other, well, all the tubes are different lengths. And I will give a little spoiler here. I was holding this for a video, but since it's the live stream viewers here, I appreciate you being here. So I'll tell you, the Mod 29 and the new updated frame for the Hypercarbon X, they have the same specs with one exception. Put the hand over here. With one exception, so very close, at least in my quick look. I might better look at that again. So yeah, I can't wait to get to that, but I'm curious, do you have the older one or the new one? Because apparently, big difference. And I went back through my notes the last time I had talked with Hyper, and I still didn't see anything about a new frame. So kind of curious that they're improving things so much that I guess they failed to mention some of the other improvements. So how about that? But yeah, I really can't wait to get on this mod. And I can't wait to see how heavy it is. I'm really curious since it didn't have the big box fork and all the other stuff that we often have to deal with that's heavy. Tried riding the e-bike the other day and surprisingly liked it. Yes, Darren Bennett, they are flipping awesome. And I'm not going to stand up here, but I've been riding e-bikes so much recently. Actually, it's been raining for most of January, so I've had a problem there too. But I've got some heft here that e-bikes is partially the e-bike's fault. I hope I'm not pegging out too high on the audio here. If I am, just let me know. And I'll dial that back. My Alexa. Okay, and I apologize. I should have muted that when I said that, and then I just said the name again. No questions here. Just glad to be in the chat again. Really missed the laid back chats. I did too. I really did too. But it's the way things work out. Sometimes life kind of gets in the way. If it's 12 speed, I'm assuming you're talking about the Carbon X. If it's 12 speed, so you put different wheels on it then, right? Because that was a free wheel out of the box. How many channels do you have? This is from Veronica Victor. Good question. I'm just going to think real quick. I think I have 7 channels, that only 2 of which are affiliated with each other. There's KevCentral and Kev Reviews, which may have to change the name on Kev Reviews because of the stolen brand or reassigned brand thing. But I have 7 and I assist 3, well now 2. I assist 2 other channels that are trying to get going. So that would answer that question. And then either with a camera person, yeah. It's easier when I have other people here, which now that our thing, I'm not going to mention the name, but now that that's slowly dying off, or at least getting not as bad, maybe I can get some people in here, because I'd really like to start interviewing live some of the local mountain bikers. We have a lot of really good mountain bikers and a lot going on at the trail in the future. I think Wildwood will be a good place for people that want to find, maybe travel to check out a new trail. Wildwood's definitely going to be it. They're doing a lot there. Hey, Richie Vegas, and from Vegas. How about that? Hey, Roman's Downtime. How about that? Nice to see you here. Joel Oliver, head tube angle is everything. It definitely doesn't hurt. It definitely does not hurt to have a good, hey, wait, I see Peugeot, Sonia. Old Peugeot. Okay, well, I thought car and scooter. When you said Peugeot, I saw that. So, yeah, but Joel Oliver, head tube angle is very important, but it's not everything, because it can be like, put a 120 millimeter fork on this, and it kind of makes it a little better. But yeah, there's nothing like getting that good, properly set up modern geometry. And when I say modern geometry, everyone jumps on that. There's cross-country bikes, there's downhill bikes, and I see a lot of people that are talking such slack head tube angles on practically every bike that it would be unusable for most people. So yeah, there's a bike for everything and a bike for everyone. Good sleep. Yeah, that was Roman. 6 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, no, that's not. Yeah, did you guys know that I'm in Florence, Alabama? We had 1 degree right before, I think it was 2 days before Christmas. We had a 1 degree, it got down to 1 degree Fahrenheit, the lowest my entire life. I've never seen it that low in Alabama or anywhere even close to that. I think I've seen 9 before, but yeah, they had at right outside of my city is another town called Zip City, which is literally just a hole in the wall. And they ran out of water because they have water tanks, and so many people were having to, they told them to trickle their water. Well, I guess people were just turning it on full blast, or they had so many people maybe trickling water, it ran all their water out, and they had to shut off water to fill their tanks back up. Pretty interesting. The cold. You tried to order a through axle hanger? No, I have not. I'm going to call them and ask them about that, or reach out to my contact and ask them about that. And let's see. Apologize. Should have brought water. I did bring water. Hold on. That quick. That quick. Sorry. Had to get a little water on the throat here. Let's see. Old school frame. Got mine in 2021. Not sure what bike you're talking about, but at least you got a bike. That's awesome. Cold. Hey, someone else from Alabama. Is that supposed to be an acronym for something? ASLMX1. Not good with that. I'm one of those people that's behind the car at the red light trying to figure out what the tag says. Never do get it. Or well, sometimes I get it. 12-speed SRAM NX cassette fits the Shimano Freewheel. Okay. Did you ever see yourself doing an e-mountain bike frame build-up? Well, Benji 22, yeah, because the mid-drive mountain, I'm putting new wheels on it, a new fork on it, new grips. One of my complaints with that bike, probably one of the few, the right grip that has a twist shifter and those little cheap grips, it keeps slipping off. Slipping off when I'm trying to ride it, because with the mid-drive, you actually can stand up and put some power on it, and sometimes you have to stand up and give it something for it to respond. And because of that, twisting that grip. Weather, no offense, I'm going to skip the weather stuff. So cute watching a Mac user try to use a computer. If you could have seen me setting all this up, I was going through trying to redo all this Windows. I mean, it reminds me, for years, I made a living, and now when I was going through all this, I was like, oh, well, now I understand fully why I made a living helping people with Windows for all these years, but I've been out of Windows for so long that I'm losing my touch, clearly. 62-degree head tube angle, pretty slack. Pretty slack, yeah. And Kissimmee, Florida, where I would like to be. Oh, by the way, I had, going into 2020, I was trying to get an RV. And I started doing this whole search for that, the Class A RV dreams and all that. I've scaled that now. My goal, once we got through all the contagion and all that, my goal was last year to try to get a little Class A, and I started shopping used old Class A's. And then I started getting worried. My cousin phrased it well. He said, I would really hate to be somewhere and have my house break down on the side of the road. And that just started ringing in my head. So I started getting worried about the old Class A. And now I'm thinking there's a big truck and big RV guy. That's a big truck, big RV has a channel. And he recommended a travel trailer. So I asked him via email, I haven't heard back from him, but I think I'm going to angle for a travel trailer. But now, and I was trying to get one for this fall because I want to go on the road and maybe meet up with some viewers and ride with viewers, especially with e-bikes, super easy. But I'm thinking now that I'm looking at the market and I'm starting to get concerned about how things are going to go financially for, well, everything. I'm thinking that maybe if I just save up my cash at the end of this year, when it gets to the next down season, because we're at the point now people are starting to buy, thinking if I get to the end, like in the fall and the winter, of the end of this year and early next year, I might be able to swing a pretty decent travel trailer. Of course, then I have to get a truck. I don't have a truck. My little Mitsubishi Mirage probably wouldn't pull in very far. But long story of that Falcon Moon, I would like to go to Florida, definitely, and travel around because I just love Florida. So if I could tow my living quarters behind me, I could definitely afford to do it. Did you ever get your bike back that were stolen? It was two bikes that were stolen. One from my place, just probably 50 feet from where we're at right now, and one from someone else's house. No, I did not, but I did. Should I even say this? I did have someone that told me they had seen one of the bikes and told me the location. So I'm scouting that location, and if I see it again, I guarantee I'll get it back. Legally, of course. Put that in there. But I guarantee you I will leave with the bike. Or, I don't know, maybe the police will get it and give it back to me, whatever. But I will get it. Loans are double-digit interest on. Yeah, I was just watching videos about that, and it was crazy. They said the average interest rate right now is 8.99% for the average very good credit. And then, of course, it goes downhill from there. And I can't imagine people, but some people are, I guess, paying, like 18, 19% interest on RV. And ew, that'd be horrible. This dude looks like Greg Miller. I have no idea who that is. Gustavo San Jose. I think I've seen you in some previous live streams, so welcome. And I don't know who Greg Miller is. I hope there's someone that's not super icky. that's my hope. I also think everyone should give e-mountain bike a test ride. Yeah, Benji, I think so too, because they are super, super fun. Any thoughts on the Giordano Intrepid? Great specs for the price. Big G Studios, I have a video on the Giordano Intrepid. I have the Intrepid, the Valor, and there was another bike that rolled along right around the same time as those. But I have videos on both of those, and you'll see more of them. I'm actually going to slightly tweak them, just ever so slightly. Not a lot, so not project status, because those are pretty close. Pretty close. Just doing the minutest that I feel I would do to have all the fun that I could have on one. Still liking the electric? Yes, the XP3, I'm assuming it's what you mean, XL, but the XP 3.0, which is, I think it's over there. I have two XPs in here, so I'm looking into light. But I think it's the one that's over there, and that is the best electric that they've ever made. I'm not paid from anybody. People call me a shill. Oh, you're a shill for this brand, you're a shill for that brand. If I was a shill for all the brands that I get accused of being a shill for, A, it wouldn't make sense because it's competing companies. But B, I would be so wealthy, and I'm the brokest YouTuber that I'm convinced. I am the brokest 100,000 plus subscriber YouTuber that exists because I don't sell the stuff. That any company that sends me anything, if I'm not financially invested, if I don't have money in a bike, anything that any company sends me, I just don't talk about it. But I guess I'm going to have to start talking about it because it's promotion. But I take the bikes, I tell the company when they're sending me the bike, you can send me the bike. If you don't want it back, I'm donating it in your name to the local trail nonprofit. And they informed me that last year there were more bikes or more money value was donated through me than anyone else local. So I guess send a lot of bikes to the local trail nonprofit, which helps the trails. But I don't charge, and I'm not charging. I'm not a shill for electric at all. I just like electrics bikes. As a matter of fact, I'm about to give all of the electrics. I still have every single electric from the prototype. Now I can see that is the prototype because I see my KevCentral sticker on it. But I have the prototype right over here. That original XP, the 3.0 blows it out of the water. It's that good, the best one. I like the light, but the 3.0, they have done a good job with that bike. And I'm about to donate all of the other bikes. And I'm going to start doing that with the electric. I'm going to give all the other bikes to the trail nonprofit. And then I'll only keep the one that I'm reviewing at that point. And when the next one comes, then I'll send it on over. So I don't get paid. And yeah, not shilling or sponsored. Let's see, a Yeti Arc, something fun. Okay, careful mentioning the plans. even though it's more likely to just get an opportunist situation. If they catch wind, they can hide it. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I thought about that when I was mentioning it, but that was 2 months ago, and I haven't seen anything, so I don't think anything will really come of it. I'm sure they've gotten rid of it by now. Can you review the Rock Rider ST50? If that goes back on sale for the super, super low price that it was on sale for last year, I'll pick one up. But I'm not going to pay more than I saw that price at. And it's not back down that low just yet. First live stream I've been to on your channel. Hey, NASCAR is awesome. I'm glad you're here. You put trackers in your bikes. I have a video about that. I have so many bikes, I can't afford to put trackers in every bike, and I don't normally store them outside. And I have a video about I was trying to use air tags, and yeah, that's not, for me, I don't think I would just lose an air tag and a bike. So yeah, don't do that. Maybe there's another company that contacted me about trying a tracker that they're trying to do on, is it Kickstarter or Indiegogo, one of the two. And I don't review stuff that's on Kickstarter or Indie. I kind of started that with that whole, well, I'm not going to say the bike, but there was an e-bike that was one of those two. And yeah, I'm not getting back into that thing where it's not a product that's not shipping or it's not from a big company that we know. I'm talking a lot with my hands here. But anyway, that's about trackers and that. Experimented with upgrading levels. Put your levers on my MT200 set. I'm assuming you meant upgrading levers on your brakes. Nah, I usually just run with whatever's there. I have seen those. I bought those little rubber ends that everybody's kind of raving about, but about their own color. So I might be able to use them on this bike though, because they're the color, that little green right there. So we'll see. Can't like some, yeah. Yeah, it's not the internet without someone calling you a shill. And it's so funny. Back when I first started doing KevCentral, I knew I was going to start trying to make a channel that would grow, but I didn't know exactly where I was going to focus on. So I just started shotgunning it. And I can remember I bought, I think it was some shop rags or something like that from Harbor Freight. And I ended up making like a 5-minute video out of those or some similar item like that. And I can remember one of the first comments I got was someone called me a shill. You must be paid by Harbor Freight. And back then they didn't pay, they didn't do any sponsorships or anything like that. Now I think they do with some of the tool channels. But I just thought that was so funny. Wow, it is the internet, because I'm already being called a shill and $3 rags that I bought and I talked about. So yeah, kind of funny. You're always going to get called that on the internet. E-Trans or Specialized Levo. Don't know anything about either of those bikes, so I couldn't tell you. Hey, Thomas Floramonte. Hello to you. And Schrodinger the cat. Yeah, talk to you. Oh, sounds like I'm, yeah, talk to you. Talk to you. So anyway, I don't want to make this too long. Let me just glance through and see if there's anything. I mean, I stay on here as long as you need, but let's see. Option or opinions for the Fly e-bike. I haven't any experience with that, and I typically don't comment on things. I mean, I can give you my opinion. I can look up specs and stuff on a bike, but right now, if I try to look up specs, it's not going to work out well. So I'll just leave it right there on that one. Self-destruct system. Let's see that. What would work too? You know, that would actually be cool. Have you seen those videos where the people they'll hide them in a park or lean them up against a tree in a park and then have an apparatus that goes through the front wheel? And while I'm sure we've all fantasized when thinking about a thief or something like that, doing something like that, but I don't know, how do they do that and not get sued because you're purposely trying to hurt someone, even though it's a thief, and I think that's one of the lowest forms of humanity. Still, don't want to purposely hurt anyone. Do you have any helmet recommendations for the casual e-bike rider? Yes. Yes, I do. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I have a helmet that I had to move out of the way in the fall, and I just now realized I need to review that helmet. It's made specifically for e-bikes, and I'll try to get that video out very, very soon. But it's rated for 28 miles per hour. You know, we've got all these e-bikes that'll do 28 miles per hour. It's rated for 28 miles per hour because that's important. A lot of people, I don't think I have a helmet here close, but a lot of people don't realize that our little bike helmets, they're not made for those speeds. Not made for those speeds at all. And you crash, it could easily shred a little standard bike helmet. Are we due for a new design for the 2023 aluminum comp? Yeah, I don't, Schwinn, they got bought out. There's a new company that owns that whole Pacific Cycle group, and I've spoken with them, and people have changed and things like that. So I don't really know. I assume that a lot of their stuff's probably gotten pushed too, but I don't know what will come out. They might trickle some stuff out. I don't know, but I can't even tell you now where things were supposed to be by now. Just because everything that's happened, some of it not at all in their control, obviously, with 2020 and the supply crunches. So I don't know, but I look forward to hearing from them again because, wow, the boundary, was it, I don't know, let's see, I'm trying to remember. The aluminum comp, the boundary, and the Taft, didn't those all arrive together? I think I did a video where I got all three of them at the same time and I pulled them up and showed the tapered head tubes. But wow, if there's one thing with the quote Walmart bike, just blanket term for a big box bike, if there's one set of bikes that I think I could point to be that's the tipping point where things started to really get, for me, really usable for the big box bikes, I think it would be those three. And of course, they've come out with some other stuff since then, and the Mongoose bikes. I'd really like to have some more Mongoose bikes because I like the Mongoose brand. But I also, people have asked about a Schwinn full suspension. I wonder about that. I don't know if they would do a Schwinn full suspension that would compete with the X1 and the X2, but I don't know. And I haven't even seen the X1 and the X2 available for sale for a while, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. Thank you, Ethan Wynn. Talking about my beard. Thank you so much. It's about to be gone though, because it's kind of annoying. And I live in a drug town, so GPS tracking is on all my preferred bikes. Yay, I'm lucky with that. Even though I've had one stolen or two stolen now recently, it's just not a lot of bike theft around here. I guess talking with the police, it's creeping up. But I don't have any points where, for me, that I'm not close to my bike because of what I do. I'm always on my bike or it's right there with me. So yeah, I would be, we put a lot of time and money in our bikes. I can't imagine working in a big city, especially if it's an e-bike, having to pull electric XP and up to a bike rack and then go in some building and be, hundreds of yards away from it and no eyes on it. I would feel not good. So I understand why some people get really worried about their bike or also get really crappy bikes to ride to some places. There was she used to do a YouTube channel and her name was Kelsey Lee, and she was a bike messenger in New York, and then just quit doing her channel all of a sudden. But I used to love watching her videos, watching her weave in and out of traffic. Really, really talented and really in good shape. But I remember she did a video that somebody had told her that if you put stickers all over a bike, that it was less likely to be stolen. And apparently it did. She put stickers all over, and I don't think she ever got that bike stolen, but she did get one stolen once, I remember, and some fellow bike messengers got a hold of. They saw the bike and got it back for her. And from the tone of the video, I kind of got the feeling that they forcefully took it from whoever had it, or took them off. I guess that'd be the best word. Took them off of said bike and got it back to her. So yeah, sometimes there is the fun. You have a beard. When did that happen? That happened right before Christmas, I think. I just got lazy and I just kind of quit shaving and then just never did. Usually I'll get the stubble and then I'll shave it off, and I just kept going. But this is as thick as it's going to get. As you see, it's a little thin on the sides. I'm just not an overly hair growing person, I guess, on my face. Plastic in those models. I don't know which ones you're talking about. I guess the Danish. Nope, you're talking about the Danish. I apologize, but I don't know. Motorcycle helmet for an e-bike. Benji, yeah, it's a good idea. Probably look a little goofy, but whatever works is best. Bikes online is different now too. Yeah, Bikes Online, they've got I've seen some really good bikes. Honestly, I kind of would have thought that Bikes Online would have approached me about checking out some of their bikes, but I haven't heard anything. I'm assuming they just sell so much they don't have to really worry about it. But well, I mean, for that matter, big box bikes, they're going to sell them. They're there. Although I was in the local Walmart and the bike racks were really, I did a video on it. They had and they had a Huffy Amara on the bike rack in the local Walmart that was a return, and I'm pretty sure that I had the relative that bought one, and I tested it and had all the flex and stuff. I'm pretty sure that's the bike. I'm pretty sure it was in one of the local Walmarts as a return, way marked down. But they had a Truvail. I've never seen a $398 bike on the rack new at the local Walmarts. We're in an area that is usually $250, $298 they cap out at a bike. But they had a Truvail, they had Boundaries, they had aluminum comps. There were a lot of the good bikes, but I think that's that glut where everyone was ordering everything and now stuff's back and the demand has died off. And that was another thing about the demand. I didn't mention it, but everyone bought bikes. We were at home, stuck at home, and everyone decided they wanted to start riding bikes. And then kind of half the people went back to the office and another half didn't go back to the office. I think those were still buying bikes and now have all these bikes. I can look at the Facebook Marketplace and never in the history of me watching Facebook Marketplace have there ever been really good bikes. Usually in my area, because it's not a huge cycling area. I mean, I'm in the South and everyone has big trucks and stuff. They yell at you and don't like you on bikes typically. But usually I'll see Walmart bikes. The big thing with us was it'd be a $199 Walmart bike and it's all rusted and someone will have it for 250 bucks. That's historically what has been Facebook Marketplace here. But now I'm seeing some carbon frames and some nice full suspension bike shop bikes, and some of them are priced pretty well. I saw a Cannondale Lefty. It was an older one, but it was a Cannondale Lefty, a 26-inch, I think. And they made it. Yeah, they made it because I have a 26-inch Lefty. But it was another one, and it was newer than mine, and it looked really good, and it was everything that I could do to not buy that. It was a little more than I would pay for it, but I'm pretty sure I could probably get it. You just broke your chain on the Boundary. Well, that stinks. I hope you get a master link or have access to one. They work wonders. Let's see. All right. Well, anyway, I don't want to drag this out any longer. It's been going almost 45 minutes. I really appreciate everyone that has tuned in. And I will tell you, nobody wanted to hear this, but on my Kev Reviews channel that I guess I'm going to have to rename, I can tell you the story of how my brand got stolen. As a matter of fact, I might record that just on this platform and put it, just talking to my webcam, and then upload that on the channel. But it's interesting. I really do appreciate everyone being here. Thank you so much for coming back to a live stream after over a year, or around a year, I think, since I did my last one. We'll get back to this. Get back to normal stuff because I enjoy biking. It's getting warmer. Everyone's about to start coming out biking. And I have a bunch of bikes that I'm going to be building, putting together, and other ones to review. So we'll see, including I have the Priority Sauce, the sauce. I have that bike. So we'll see. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning into this live stream. I hope you have a great day or great evening. And now I have to figure out how to